Welcome to another presentation at the East Trade Winds, a chapter of the World Referral Network, hosted by Bernie Franzgrote and Wayne Pratt. The presentation today is titled Harnessing Virtual Events, Navigating Success. Our guest is Jennie Eriksen from Eventraptor. Struggling to get your message heard and connect with the right audience? Jennie, an event and podcast strategist, knows just how to solve that. As the powerhouse behind Eventraptor, she helps small businesses, solopreneurs, and new entrepreneurs create impactful, audience-building events. With her experience in audio production and love for storytelling, Jennie has a knack for turning messages into stories people want to hear. Known for her easygoing style and high standards, Jennie is a trusted partner for anyone looking to stand out in the digital world. Watch to learn how she builds authentic, engaging communities with every event.
I am Jennie Eriksen, and today I'm talking to you about tackling the complexity of virtual events. And I'm going to start with a shameless plug. If you use Eventraptor, there is no complexity. There we go, Bernie. My talk is done. Thank you very much for having me. I'm done. Hot off the press, the virtual event market size in 2024 is an industry worth $216 billion. And that's a figure that's projected to grow significantly, reaching $657 billion by 2029. So I'm here to tell you that virtual events are here to stay. So let me back up a little bit and fill in some gaps for you. So when we had our global interrupt back in 2020, there were so many people that had no idea how to show up online, to talk about their business, to make wonderful connections, to be part of online events. And of course, many people thought it was just a temporary thing until, here's the phrase I really hate, things returned to normal. But during time, people realized that there really was a huge potential to share their knowledge, their wisdom, their skills, all their wonderful things with a global audience by being online. And of course, one of the best ways to do that is by speaking. So when we started our business at the height of Global Interrupt, we truly believe that visibility and being part and running virtual events is key. And when you're putting together a virtual event, it really is what I call herding kit. It's speaker bios, landing pages, did the email go out, all that stuff. And my husband, being an automation guy, just couldn't deal with all the laborious bit. Eventraptor was born from there. Moving on and finding and booking the right guest speakers, there really are tons of speaking opportunities out there. And of course, speaking doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a keynote speaker. A good speaker is essentially someone who knows their stuff, who may be able to give a talk, but also impart their incredible knowledge by being interviewed as a guest. So, for example, my husband is a speaker. He likes to give a presentation. I like being a guest. I like the ebb and flow of the back and forth. You're looking for people that can keep their audience engaged and interested and keep to the time schedule allotted. So hence the reason I've got my clock here, not finishing too early and of course not overrunning as well. And that said, you have to be selective when you choose a speaker or a speaking opportunity. You've got to start with the end in mind, whether it's a summit, it's a podcast, it's a live stream. What do you want your speaker or your guest to convey to your audience? And of course, what are your listeners looking to hear and to learn? If, for instance, you're hosting a series of talks on social media advertising, there's absolutely no point in you having a yoga instructor to share the benefits of yoga and meditation, no matter how fabulous a speaker they are. For free events, you should always work to attract more of your target audience. Choose speakers who make the commitment to promote the event to their email list and or their social media, as long as they have, of course, the relevant audience. And if the audience is different to yours, how will it benefit your audience? There can absolutely be a significant benefit of using somebody, but you just need to be aware of the reasons why. So an off-topic speaker more likely is going to potentially derail your event, as people don't see the benefit of why they're speaking. And that sometimes results in people leaving an event or maybe even switching off, which of course is something we don't want. You've got to make sure your speaker is committed to doing their best for your audience. There are a lot of speakers that want to just show up and it seems all they want to do is promote their stuff, talk about their stuff. Do make sure that your speaker, somebody you've chosen, is in alignment with what you're doing and there is a really good fit there. You want them to be committed to delivering the best to your audience. So if you have an event like a platform, like a podcast, for example, and they're looking for a guest or speaker, you've got to make sure what they speak about is going to resonate and be of interest to your attendees and your listeners. In this technological world where we are digitally privileged, there's a good old voiceover phrase there, digitally privileged people's short attention spans are so much shorter than ever. And you'd never ever want to give people the opportunity to leave your event or to switch off. So do make sure you choose wisely. And moving on the other hand, when you're wanting to be a guest or speaker, there will be a ton of people that will say to you, get out there, speak, turn up to the opening of an envelope, be on as many stages as you can. And I would implore you not to do that. I would ask you to turn up to something that you feel is a good fit for you. Just turning up to speak at an event or on a podcast, just because there's loads of attendees or listeners, it's a waste of your time if they're not your target audience. Do spend your time where you feel you'll have the most impact. So I would ask you to be selective. Moving on, managing large scale virtual events effortlessly. I could talk a ton about managing your virtual events effortlessly, which leads me on to another shameless plug. Use Event Raptor to make it happen. My talk is done. There we go. Finished early. Not really. Thanks for coming, by the way. Seriously, there's a ton of moving parts to a virtual event. And when you use a virtual event management system, it takes away a lot of all the laborious stuff like collecting speaker information, creating the agenda, emailing everybody, or distributing all the swipe copy, the stuff, the emails and social media suggestions, keeping track of how well people are promoting, are they using their links, all that stuff, all the moving parts. And then you have also had to consider the event management when you run the event yourself. You've got to make sure that you keep to schedule, checking my time there, having a host that can manage the Q&A and those transitions between one speaker and another speaker, making the correct introductions, making sure the chat is filled up with all the relevant information and that people, when they ask questions, their questions are answered. And also speakers want their links dropped, a link to their gift or their website or their booking in link, whatever it may be. That all has to happen too. And you've got to make sure that if you get a no-show, and that does happen, what have you got that you can use to fill in? For example, you could provide some laser coaching to somebody who's an attendee. You might have another talk that's ready to go. Perhaps you want to open up for more Q&A, or perhaps if you've got other speakers in the house, you might want to have a panel discussion. For us, a good example is we had a speaker who had a 45 minutes slot, and by 20 minutes she was done. It was over. She raced on at 100 miles an hour. It was done, and there were no questions at all from attendees. So luckily we had questions up our sleeve. We could make sure we asked her questions. She imparted more information, and in the end it became a beneficial 45-minute section. But as I say, these things do to make an event look effortlessly. It really is the 3 Ps: preparation and more preparation. And when you run an event, I always think if you're doing it manually, I think it's a bit like Christmas lunch, where you're cooking for all these people that you thought it was a great idea to invite, and you're cooking for hours and you're putting it all together. And by the time you sit down and to eat, you're exhausted. You're not enjoying it. So using a virtual event management system means you'll actually enjoy your event because you didn't spend a ton of time having to put everything together. And so finally, creating engaging events that drive results. And so what is the secret recipe to getting results? The first step is to start with the end in mind. You can't hit a goal you don't have. What result or what outcome do you want? Do you want to make sales? Do you want to build your list? Do you want to build your authority? When you understand your goal, it becomes your guiding principle throughout your planning. And so, for instance, if your aim is to get more sales for your program, will the speakers compete directly with your offer that you have, or will they help your audience decide to take your offer? So here's an example for us. Speaking coaches will help our audience become better at speaking so they can get more sales. So they're more likely to run events so they can speak to more people. The offer a speaking coach makes at our event doesn't compete with anything we might do. So that's a great fit. What kind of interactions would help your audience be engaged? For instance, completing worksheets, polls and quizzes are fun to really get your audience engaged. When we run events, we ask our speakers to focus on delivering what we call golden nuggets. They're things that people can use and implement right from the get-go. And we put a lot of focus on people being able to ask questions as well. If you're targeting an audience without much knowledge, someone who's just starting their journey, then show them the options and help them with a tool so they can make basic decisions based on what path they want to take. And if you're targeting an audience with a more in-depth knowledge, then have sessions that offer advanced strategies and insights. Establishing a cohesive theme is important. Choose speakers who speak knowledgeably on their theme, and then make sure that they're going to promote the heck out of the event. It's always better if you have an event with 50 or 500 people rather than 5. Obviously, if you'd like a chat about anything, I'm here.
Unlock the full potential of networking with the World Referral Network. Are you eager to connect with our esteemed guest speaker and delve deeper into the ever-expanding universe of the World Referral Network? Simply scan the QR code now and embark on a journey of endless opportunities. Join us at East Trade Wins, where we gather online every Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, you're welcome to connect with us and other chapters across the World Referral Network. Seize the moment, register for free, and start exploring today. Fancy sharing your insights as a guest speaker? We're looking for you. Reach out to Wayne Pratt to ignite your speaking journey. Email him at motivateyou.ca or connect with Wayne on LinkedIn. Don't wait. Take action and be a part of a global community that's shaping the future of business networking.